The General Center Theory by Dr. Alon Giladi. Article 5. The Central Point.
Well, let's look for a moment at those aspects of the extreme limits that Einstein's theory does not handle, where values become infinite, where they break down, and so on and so forth. Those aspects that are beyond light. Those aspects that approach the beginning. Those aspects that approach what we see in the framework of the foundations of rational faith. As, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, God created matter and spirit, and the earth was formless and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters, and then God said, "Let there be light." That is, we are in the time before light. The current scientific observation of light actually stops at what is now apparently accepted as 380,000 years after the Big Bang. What scientists actually see is what is called cosmic background radiation, on the basis of which they built a model of the universe 380,000 years after the moment of the Big Bang when the light appeared. Well, this cosmic radiation is actually what we see everywhere today, which is supposedly central proof of the existence of the Big Bang. That is, we see a kind of ellipse like this from all directions. The current science explain the fact that we don't see light within 380,000 years by saying that the universe was about 1 billion times denser than it is today, and therefore the light that was created a short time after the Big Bang as photons could not break through. But 380,000 years after the Big Bang, atoms began to form, and the universe expanded in such a way that light could in various forms, in the form of the cosmic background radiation, begin to disperse at the speed of light, and therefore what we see is the light as it broke out after it could have broken out. That is, according to those scientists, light existed even before that, from the moment of the Big Bang. Although this claim is not proven, but it is prima facie inferred from the current observation of the development of the universe. Well, when we look skeptically at the beginning of the universe, and we look at those 380,000 years in which we don't see light, there are three possibilities for the reason why we don't see light. The first reason is that the universe was so dense that light could not escape. We know that light is absorbed by dense bodies, like metal and the like, and therefore the claim that in a universe 1 billion times denser, light could not escape. Therefore this claim allegedly makes sense. But against this claim, there could be a claim that if light could not escape, why claim that there was light at all? Because we know that the current science see the photons as particles that do not divide and are therefore called elementary particles. According to this conventional understanding, they are particles without mass with energy, and they are created as a result of processes that supposedly precede them at the moment when atoms began to form, as soon as the universe was no longer so dense as when the allegedly photons were also created. This is a claim that can be calibrated against the existing claim, which is a claim that contradicts this claim. Another argument could be that there was light at that time, but it did not burst out, not only because of the density, but also because of another aspect. What is that aspect? The other aspect takes us to that reality in which Einstein's theory does not work. What is that reality? This is the reality in which the light is there, but we do not see it. This is the same space as the black hole, that is a space of the singular point, where the mass of the star, what it swept into, is so great that its power is so great, whether it is the force of gravity or the force of the space-time universe, that does not align with Einstein's theory. It is the power of that singular point that does not allow light to escape from it. the so-called escape velocity, where the speed of light is not enough to escape from that force, whether it is a space-time universe, or whether it is gravity, or whether the force is different, unlike Einstein. There the claim is of light that supposedly exists but cannot get out, and what we see is the light at the event horizon, and not the light inside the event itself, inside the black hole. But this observation of the singular point in the black hole does not align with the observation of science on the subject of the Big Bang. And why doesn't it agree with it? Because the foundation of the Big Bang theory is that after the Big Bang, the world, the universe, expanded. The universe is expanding in all directions, in the form of some kind of cone that expands into some kind of space created like some kind of balloon, by acceleration of all the stars, an acceleration that was predicted in about 1920 by Hubble, an expanding universe. These are two phenomena that also contradict Einstein's theory, that phenomena of the moment of the Big Bang and that of the expansion of the universe. So what is the apparent error when we observe skeptically in a rationally theoretical way? What is the error in observing the Big Bang theory? The error is twofold: the claim that from that singular point of the Big Bang, the universe expands non-stop, and that there is no longer exists a singular point in the beginning point. This is one fundamental error that raises a fundamental question: why there is no longer a singular point in the center of the universe? Does all the matter that was, all the mass, all the forces that were at that moment of the Big Bang evaporated, or there's still a singular point at the same place where the Big Bang began? Or in other words, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, the heavens and the earth at that beginning. Who said that that beginning was as if it did not exist, and everything that was in it spreads from here on out? It is precisely the black holes that are not created by chance in every collapse of a star, but they are created only in a star of a certain mass, and after it has gone supernova, the star collapses inward. If we look at the cosmic background radiation, we see something that is very reminiscent. If we look at the singular point of the Big Bang of the black holes, we see an object that is very reminiscent of the singular point of the beginning of the universe. But what else do we see in black holes? We see black holes in the centers of galaxies, in every galaxy. In fact, in almost every galaxy, certainly in galaxies that rotate like the Milky Way or the Andromeda Galaxy, or all the galaxies that we actually know. In all of them, at their center, there is always a black hole, or more accurately, a black hole that is a supermassive black hole, a huge, gigantic black hole, at the center of the Milky Way Galaxy, at the center of the Andromeda Galaxy, and so on. And here, Dr. Giladi comes and say, also at the center of the universe.